Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Interesting Modelling Company midweek review. I'm on my lonesome tonight, but we will have some guests on in the future shows, and we'll have some of the regular crew back. But it's just scheduling at the moment. So I will get on with some modelling tonight, and I might dip back into this a year on and see where I am. But also just to field your questions, your comments, your queries. So we're going to be kind of like an open free for all tonight, I think. Yeah, that's essentially the format of this evening. And we'll just have a quick hello to everybody who's tuned in. Why, God, there's got to be something better you could be doing on a Wednesday. Let's have a look. Oh, we got a new viewer tonight. Anfield Road layout in the loft. Nice one. Drew on holiday? No, Drew's working tonight. Dave Fleming says finish the Katie. Yeah, that's a good point, Dave. Finish the Katie. Might do that tonight, actually. Let's have a look. Let's go all the way back to the beginning. Alan Richardson, Jim Aldercott, David Mummery, Yohafa Fretty, Damien Mullen, John Huston, Dougal McLougal, Andy Preston, Moz 6510, Jim Aldercott, Lee Suter, Simon Lewis. So it scrolls down. David Mummery, Dave Fleming, Michael Hooverling. Yeah, Dave Fleming says finish the Katie, and I think he's got a point. Actually, I think we should have a look and see where we are with it and get round to finishing it. Good point, Dave. Good point. So here we are with Katie Box. That was on over the weekend, actually. Ice cold in Alex. And always good fun to spot the continuity on how many different Katies they had in that film. So, right. Yeah, this gets himself in his chair properly. We are actually surprisingly close to finishing this. So it's one of these models that I think to myself, well, we're that close to finishing it, and then we look at it and we're just like, well, we're that close, but still a long way to go. But let's have a look. Let's get the MacBook set up a bit better here. I mean, there it is, and we've got the roof and everything is done. Yeah, let's have a look and see how far we have to go with this tonight to get it completed. I don't think we're actually that far from closing up the cab and everything. Yeah, I need to, as I'm doing this, as I'm doing the show tonight, I am going to, I'm going to have to keep an eye on the comments and whatnot. There we go. Let's have a look. I'm just going to pull my pipe out the window. Don't wish to know about that. So, where are we with this? Good Lord. Yeah, we'll we'll bring your comments in as we go, which is mostly going to be, my goodness me, is JM losing his marbles? Yeah, essentially, yeah, really. Let's have a look. Right, okay. We will rock you, because there really isn't that much. Well, I say there really isn't that much more to go on this. Where's my bin gone? Oh, for God's sake. Sit in the chair properly, man. That's the bin down there. Yeah, I think I think we can do some more on this tonight. Probably no spraying, but we can certainly do some more construction work on it. Yeah, okay. Let's have a look at the comments here. Theron Hampton says, good afternoon from Denver, Colorado. Good afternoon, Theron. Simon Lewis says, lol. It's a lol day here, trust me. Oh, God. Oh. Mike Clages says, did the Comet parts ever arrive? No, I am still waiting for my Comet parts. So I'm still waiting for them. So, right. Bum, bum, bum. I'm just having a look. The problem is I've done so much work on this that it's kind of like it's getting to the stage where it's just going to be quite a bit of paint work on it. But I'm not in the mood for painting at the moment. Not tonight anyway. And I still haven't made my mind up which scheme I am going to do. I'm not doing British Army, Alexandria, Egypt. I might just do a green one, actually. Right, okay. So let's have a look to see what you lot are talking about. Simon Lewis, this is a good one. This is, he says, modeling always seems to end up with snagging little bits to bring it to completion, which takes longer than the main build. Yeah, that's what I'm experiencing at the moment. Oh, excuse me. Oh. And David Mummery says, having built the Katie, glad somebody has. I'm looking forward to the truck when it's released. Yep. That should be relatively soon, he said. Yeah. Yeah, that's it's on its way. Let's put it this way. Jim Altegott says, come on, Jim. Press the button. There we go. He says, whilst you model away, Mr. Mock, I think I will get in a sit down at one of his workbenches. Oh, the Tacom Grant and Classic Hasegawa KI-27 Nate. Yeah, Tacom Grant. That does look good. Robert Johnson. That's a good question. Robert Johnson says, how's your long COVID? Dreadful. Absolutely shocking. But fingers crossed, I'll stay awake to get to the end of this show. Ooh, it's not fun, folks, but we are going to beat it. And anybody who knows me knows that I am so massively pig-headed that I'm not going to let this get the better of me. And Mike says, having poked my pipe out the window, now in the spray booth with parts of a Matchbox Strand Ra. Well, I'll tell you what, folks, if you let us know what you are working on at the moment, and we can incorporate it into the live feed, so to speak. I'm just having a look. Right. I'm just pulling the various bits and pieces here to see what needs... See, I don't think there's that much left to build now. A lot of this is down to construction and painting, rather. So we might, lordy, we might actually get a paintbrush out and do some painting. Yeah, let's get the old paintbrush. I'm trying desperately not to do the Terry Wogan here. But yeah, we will get the paintbrush out, and we are going to... Well, one of the things we're going to do is we're going to paint the handles on the stretchers. So, if only I had... Excuse me. If only I had a suitable wood colour acrylic that I could actually use. Yeah, we've got new wood. That'll do. New wood. Oh. What am I looking for? God. Honestly, folks, this blessed COVID, long COVID, is not fun. It really isn't, and it plays havoc with your brain and your sense of timing and everything. And anyway, right, let's get some of the Panzer Ace's new wood, and we'll pop some of that onto the palette here. Oops, I'll do. Right, let's get the camera set up here. So what we are doing is, there we go. We are going to be mixing some of that up. I've also got my new paintbrushes here, which I cannot for the life of me find. That's the joy about having new stuff in the workshop, that you then can't find it. Oh, for goodness sake, let's have a look. There we go. Oh, bangs into camera. Oh. Right. It's a rare moment. This is me actually getting some paint on a paintbrush. Dun dun dun. Right. So we will just paint the ends of these. Goodness me, I have not got my eye in tonight for doing painting. Oh, it's the first kind of workshop time that I've had in quite a while, and let's just say ring rustiness is making itself felt tonight. That'll do. There's going to be a lot of that. Oh, that'll do. That's close enough. I feel like we should have some royalty-free music playing in the background whilst we're doing this. So come on, everybody. What are you working on at the moment? And have you bought any exciting new models in the last few weeks or days even? Because there have been some exciting new releases, mainly the ICM Tari helicopter in 1/35th scale. Goodness me, what a monster that is. Making a right mess of this. Oh, let's have a look at the comment. Ah, right, okay. Simon Parkinson says, don't want to be picky, but handles were green. Were they? Okay. Handles were green. Shows how much I've been paying attention to. I'll just have a look at the instructions. Let's have a look. Wow. Well, the instructions are saying Humbrol 110, which I think is wood. But if you think they should be dark green, I think we'll go for that. Yeah, Humbrol 1110 natural wood. But I tell you what we're going to do. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We are going to paint one of them in natural wood, but we are going to paint another one in a dark green color. I'm just having a look to see what have we got here on the shelf. Oops, that would do the job. Let's have a look. Or 600 shades of green here, and I can't seem to find one that I like the look of. Actually, that'll do. Oh, we'll try doing one in German field grey. So Oh, what it's like to be back in the swing of things. And trust me, this is not like being back in the swing of things. Actually, I've just noticed okay, Simon says the stretcher frames were usually all green. Not sure what the instructions say. Okay, well we'll paint a couple of them green. Let's put it that way, and that will ring up the changes. Let's put it that way. Right, let's do a bit of let's have a bit of atmospheric music. Now, you see, the only thing I've got against green is that it really doesn't contrast with the rest of the stretcher. So I think we'll let this dry for a few minutes, which being acrylics, that's all you need. I think we are going to paint. We're going to paint some of them brown and some of them green, and maybe one of them with a slightly kind of weathered, chipped appearance to it. Good music. This is like, it's like trance. Yes, this. Yeah, I've had enough of that music now. It's kind of like royalty-free, yes, that. Right. We have done a bit of the handles there. Now, the thing is, dark green might actually be correct for the stretchers, but you really can't see it on the model. Whereas I think the wood offers a bit more of a contrast. So it might be that I end up painting them the wrong color in order for them to look the right color. Does that make sense to you? Doesn't make sense to me anyway. But yeah, I think we might end up painting them a wood color because that's what people will be expecting. Right, here we go. Yes, I know. It's right. Okay. Somebody's posted up a picture there, so we'll have a look at that. Yeah, John Huston says English salvage, vintage World War II wood canvas medical stretcher. Okay, we'll have a look at that in a second. Simon Lewis says it's all gone a bit Bob Ross. Fluffy clouds and all that. Is that chatbot AI music? No, it's whatever it is on the streaming program. Yeah, it is a bit like New Age modeling channel without music. Yeah, it's horrible. Alan Richardson said, just pretend they have new pieces of wood in them. Yeah. Right. Let's have a look to see if. So this is the annoying thing about StreamYard is that it doesn't let you see when you get a link up like so. It would be nice if you can then actually copy and paste it, but you can't do it. So that's a bit silly. Let's have a look. Let's have a look on the. Honestly, folks, I am so pooped at the moment. It's just not fun. It is not fun whatsoever. Right, here we go. Let's have a look. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I can't cut and paste the thing here, but we'll get round to doing that anyway. We'll do that in the when the show's over. We'll have a look at it. Jared says, he says, working on a 1/72nd scale KP LA7, I got an Edward kit that's gonna donor any spare parts. Right, okay. Christopher Joseph Buchholz. Hello, Christopher. He says, my 1/72nd scale P51B is almost ready for paint, meaning I'm either slightly ahead of the schedule or running horribly late for Armour April. No, trust me, you're not running late. I mean, given that this ambulance was originally going to be part of Airfix Autumn, yeah, I am running horribly late at the moment. And let's have a look. Do you know what? Having not really done any modelling to speak of in the workshop for a couple of months, actually being in here and just trying to kind of like hold things and do that, it's quite not painful, but it is just incredibly difficult. I'm sure once I get the swing of it, because I've done this before, that I've been in there and You know, I've just not I've just not been in the zone, that it's taken a couple of days to suddenly, you know, I'm back in it again. But at the moment, I am definitely not in the zone. It's not fun, but hey ho, we will get back in there. We will. I know we will. Especially as I've got some figures to paint. Um, Also, here's an interesting thing: is that my eyesight keeps not changing, but I can understand macular degeneration in terms of distance and things, but mine is sometimes it's close up, that it's just like, oh right, okay. So yeah, that's an interesting facet of aging. Yeah, Mike Williams says it's like anything, you need to keep the muscle memory, and that's exactly where we are at the moment. I've just got to get that muscle memory back into my system again. John Huston, he says, right, John Huston, this is interesting. This is much more interesting than this show. He says, OMG. He says, police crawling around outside my window. 2 guys in cuffs, a sniffer dog in car, seats taken out on ground. Bit of a distraction. So if you can beat John Huston's drama tonight with your own, then please do. That's interesting. Dave Fleming says, you didn't define which autumn. That's true, Dave. I didn't define which autumn. So yeah, Ian makes a very good point, actually. He says the problem is you can't and shouldn't force it. Yeah, but we will slowly get back into the swing of things. Now, I'm just having a quick look. Let's just switch over to the other camera here at the moment. And I've just had a look at my, you see, there is, get that out of the way. There is one of my stretchers that is painted in, shall we say, the wrong colors. And there's this one, which is painted in the right colors. But I don't know, I prefer the handles to be a kind of a wood color. So, we'll let that dry, and then we'll have another look at that on the rebound. There's really not much I can do with the ambulance at the moment, because it's all relating, or it's all relying rather, on painting and major painting. And yeah, okay, I think we'll get those. We've done those bits. That's some modeling that ticks the box. Token modeling, that's it, done. Next, and then we'll come back to that without the pressure of doing a live broadcast, so that I can get my eye in and see what I should be doing. Modeling. Honestly, folks, it's still, I'm still slightly behind the curve in terms of just doing things and whatnot. It's David says, if you think he's confused now, just wait until Ghost Stories later with a pint and a few chasers. There is that. Actually, I've become more lucid then. I actually start making sense. And Ian Outup says, I saw something on the telly about railings in London made from old stretchers where they were metal frames. They did do that, I seem to remember. Yeah, it's weird. Right, let's just go through some of the comments here. Let's have a look. Yeah, no, I'm okay. Theron Hampton says, I'm working on the Bandai 144 scale X-Wing and monogram F8 Crusader. And right, okay. Robert Johnson says, I like the way he's thinking. He says, JM, would you consider building a Le Mans racing car? Yes, I would. I would love to build a Le Mans racing car. Yeah. So if you want to send me one, I'll build one. Absolutely. Let's have a look. Mike and Penn Richardson, he says, Penn has realised she has 7 kits in an unfinished state. Only 7, Mike. Only 7. Dave Coward says he's, wow, Avro Anson. Yeah, good choice. And Dave Fleming says, he says, bought the Rodin 144 scale RC135W, probably the most expensive kit I've ever bought. Then got 26 decals for an RAF one. Hobby Time. I like look at this. Hobby Time says backdating the Italy A10 to one of the early test aircraft. Andy Brennan is building 2 Airfix 24 scale Spitfires. I take it that's the Mark 9. Very good. Simon Parkinson says, just picked up 2 monogram 148 scale B24 Liberators, a D and a J, for 50 quid. That's good. And Dave Coward says, just about to paint the Airfix Avro Anson. Lovely kit, but definitely not for a beginner. No, well, I think that's... Sorry, I went a bit Michael Caine there. No, kit is not for a beginner. No, I don't think it is. And I think people tend to kind of think, oh, well, it's Airfix, so it should be buildable by a beginner. I don't think that Anson is. I think that's it's an intermediate to advanced construction job on that, and I don't think kind of like plopping that in the hands of a tyro is going to do them any favors. I mean, people will say all kits should be, they should be buildable by vast swathes of the modeling community, but some kits are more equal than others. Let's put it that way. Jim Alcott says, currently adding weld seams and casting texture to the Grant upper turret. And John Huston says, slow progress on 3 Italian job minis and a Hella Gordini R8, all in 1/24th scale. I've seen a number of people do Italian job minis, proper ones over the years, and they've done some really super stuff with them. Here we go. Simon Lewis says, just a thought to throw around with all the grief with Facebook. How about an interesting modeling website? We could all chip in for web space. We're looking at that, Simon. And then being able to live stream to that, because then it will give us complete control over, over the, the copyright and everything. It's just Facebook is a pain dans le derrière. Twitter even more so. Without wanting to kind of go into the politics of it, we keep thinking about ditching Twitter. We're not getting the same enjoyment out of Twitter that we used to get, and it's a joyless experience at the moment. So we're keeping a weather eye on that. Right, here we go. Ethan Williams. Hello, Ethan. He says, evening, everyone. I'm building the Edward I'm building the Edward duo set of 1/72 scale Zlin Z37A Comlax, thanks to Edward's decal conversion. I'm so glad somebody's getting some use out of Edward decals. Trevor Stringer says, 1/32 scale F4 Phantom, just can't get the enthusiasm to get it over the finish line. Do you know what, Trevor? That's redolent. That's a good word, isn't it? Redolent. But that is redolent of where I get with projects, that I get them to a certain level once I've got all the major construction out of the way, and then from that point on, my interest in them falls off a cliff. You'd think it would be the opposite. You'd think that once you get to the stage where you've got you're close to priming and painting and all the stuff that we are supposed to enjoy as modelers, and I just find I get bored, or I'll build something else, and it's I've got to shake myself out of that this year, because I've got a number of kits that I need to, number of projects that I need to build, a number of kits I need to build. Also, I mean, we're coming up to the end of March now. That is a quarter of the year gone. And when we get to the end of April, which is just over a month's time, it's my birthday. Not dropping any hints or anything, but yeah, if you want to send me a card, slice of cake, postal order, all that kind of stuff, that'd be lovely. No, I'm joking. But yeah, once we get to April, then suddenly that's a third of the year gone. So suddenly it's like chunk. And yeah, we'll soon be heading towards the summer equinox, and then the nights will start drawing in again. I mean, it's one of the weird things is that technically speaking, British summertime starts now, as you can tell by the cold weather. But once we get past the 21st of March, that's when British summertime starts. But then essentially you've only got 21st of March, April, May, June. You've only got 3 months of British summertime, and then the nights start drawing in. I mean, we've only got 4 months of longer nights, and then they'll start getting shorter again. Oh, anyway, I don't want to depress you or anything, but yeah, it's funny how the year kind of wings round like this. Mike Williams says, he says, I'm painting the ordnance for the Academy A10C, AGM 65 Mavericks, AM9L Sidewinders, ALQ 184, GBU 54. Gonna have your work cut out there, Mike. Mike Clages says Canada's biggest model show is this Sunday, Heritage Con in Hamilton. I've got an Airfix Nimrod last year for a great price. Mike, if you're there at the show and you can take some pictures and you want to share them to the timeline, please feel free. It'd be nice to have some photographs from that, actually. Simon Lewis, this is interesting. Simon Lewis says, I'm painting the Italeri Kubelwagen. Doesn't say what scale. Is that the old 35th scale one, which is actually a brilliant kit, or is that the old Eschi 1/8 scale one? I got to say, I got a couple of the Italeri Kubelwagens, and I remember building that when I was kind of about that high, and I remember where I got it from. I got it from a shop up West Hill called Cat's Whisker. And I just remember seeing it there and thinking, you know, I remember building it, and it was one of those things that I started it in the evening, and by the end of the evening, I was painting it. And this is about 5 years ago. I remember thinking to myself, well, I've got one now. There is no way I'm going to be building this and then painting it in the space of an evening. Guess what? I could build it and paint it in the space of an evening. It is a ridiculously simple kit to throw together. In fact, I think we should do a live whereby I build one and just kind of like show you how ridiculously simple that kit is to build. It's a brilliant kit, and yeah, it can be built in the space of a single evening. So yeah, there we go. Andy Preston, so I'm working on the Harrier Airfix Harrier 124 GR1. Love it. Big old kit that. I got to say, for all its flaws, I do like that kit, and I do like the surface detail. And yes, I'm aware that the surface detail is a little bit not overscale, but a little bit full on. But I just think it adds to the character of the kit, to the uniqueness of it. So I've also noticed that it appears that I've got beetroots down my jumper, so, or I've been stabbed. So there we go. Wishful thinking on the part of a lot of people. Anfield Road layout in the loft says, I start to build a plane. Doesn't matter what you build it, build it, build it, build it, build it, build it. Just having a quick look here. Okay, that's we've caught up with the comments here. Sorry, it's a bit bitty tonight, folks. That's the story of my life at the moment. And let's have a look. Just pretend they have new pieces of wood in them. This is the controversy over the color of the handles of the ambulance, but yeah, we'll do something about that anyway. James Tainton, here we go. James Tainton says, got the Qatari Spitfire in the mail yesterday, so that's on the queue. Be interesting to see what that's like. Let's have a look. Zinan, oh, that's got that. Zinzan Scale Modeling says, evening all. This sounds interesting. It's the Interesting Modeling Company. Sorry, I'm late. No, that's fine. You're more than welcome, and you can always play catch up on the iPlayer, as we call it. Although we can't because it's doing copyright. And let's have a look. Yeah, Mike's saying the new Academy 148 scale A10 Thunderbolt 2 I'm building is keeping my interest. It's superb. Yeah, it is apparently a superb model. Let's have a look. Yeah, Ian Hartup says, whilst I build 124 scale cars, I've no idea where I put a 124 scale aircraft. Yeah, yeah, that's a tricky one. That Stan Codling says, Italeri Schwimmwagen is a lovely kit with a couple of really nice figures. Yeah, I've got one of them, and that's on the list of models to build at some stage. Simon Lewis says, last thing I bought was some Despy sprue cutters. I love them. They are brilliant. They are absolutely brilliant. And I'm just having a look to see what other Wilbury Castle Railway Modelling says, He says, "Yep, mine." I don't know what he's referencing here, but mine is at the end of April at Cannes. I know. He says, "Can't get started on any builds. Can't get started on any builds. P.S. Evening, or it's called getting old." Possibly, but I think we all go through this where we just our enthusiasm, it just kind of like nosedives, and we do pick it up. I mean, at the moment, my issue is just getting my head back into modeling, and just that spatial awareness and the motor skills to do all this. And it's quite weird in that if you can be building models for 40-50 years, you stop building them for a couple of weeks, and all that accumulated knowledge, it just starts to fade. And I think it actually gets worse with age, is that you just start to lose your edge, which is, it's interesting. Not saying it's fun, but it's interesting. But yeah, keep an eye on that. But we will get our mojo back. I think it's the phrase that's used, and we will have some fun with it. But it's just at the moment, I think it's because I've been still recovering from COVID. I've been trying to play catch up with work, and it's particularly hectic time at work. And this is the first time I've had to actually sit down and do some stuff at the workbench. I just need to kind of bang something out, frankly, which is why I was looking at that ICM G4 Mercedes. No. Actually, hold on, lads. I got an idea, and I will show you this. Oh, because now this is another kit that I've got, which I do want to get round to building or even finishing. Let's just get the would you believe it's well, stupid streaming service has decided not to work anymore. So it was this, the Airfix George Washington from the Collectors series. And I'm just having a look to see whether I can. Annoying. Never mind. And this was part of their Collectors series from the 1970s. And yeah, it's unfortunately, would you believe, the cameras decided to stop working, but it comes with the little kind of like instruction booklet here. Beautiful illustration of George on his horse, and the actual kit is actually pretty darn good. Oh, for goodness sake, why won't this? Bear with us a moment, folks. There we go. Right. So we've got old Dobbin here. So I have done some filling and some seam filling on the inside of the body there, which is going to take a little bit of work, but not an undue amount. Beyond that, everything else is just getting the uniform done and painting George himself. So I reckon about another evening's work and that will be ready for painting, he said, hopefully. And yeah, it's these collector's series models are absolutely beautiful, and they're just utterly fabulous. I have floated the idea with the hierarchy about bringing these back, but rather understandably there's little enthusiasm for them because they didn't do terribly well when they were reissued a few years ago. Fair enough. I just think that they deserve a second chance, quite frankly. But yeah, if they're not going to sell, they're not going to sell. But I think these are top class. They really are, and I'm looking forward to doing some painting, figure painting on these, and just yeah. What can I say? If you see these, and sometimes they go for silly money, silly cheaps money, bag them. They are absolutely top dollar. They really are. And who knows? Perhaps we can get them brought back. But anyway, there we go. George Washington. So that's another project I've got on the go, on top of all the other projects I've got on the go at the moment. So anyway, look, let's have a look. Simon Parkinson says, I just remember those figures from the 70s. I think they were Airfix's response to Hysterex. And just the whole, when you see the kind of like the packaging and everything, it's very Hysterex centric. But yeah, it's good stuff. Jim Altergott giving us a lesson in American history here says, does Airfix include figures of Lord Cornwallis and the Howe brothers? Sadly not, no. And Jim also says, perhaps Edward will make a photo etch aftermarket set for the George Washington figure, including false teeth, because his teeth were wood, apparently. Yeah, David Mummery says, had a break of about 3 months from November. Definitely makes you rusty, especially with paint thinning. Yep. Alan Richardson says, got the ICM C54, but no pilots until May. Have seen a lovely scheme with skis, 2 fuel tanks, and a red front and rear ends. Come in, aftermarket dudes. I gotta say, I've seen some people have already built that ICM CH54. It is gorgeous. It is just fabulous. It really is. Yeah, Stan Codling's talking about his Schwimmwagen and whatever. Perhaps we'll do that, folks. Perhaps we'll do an evening where I build a Italeri Kugelwagen, not painting it, but build it in a single session, just to show you how easy that kit is to put together. Perhaps we could get other people to join in. Oh, that's a thing. That's a prospect. I reckon we could do it. I'm not kidding when I say this. That Italeri 35th scale Kugelwagen, we could build that, and I'm saying we because I'm including you lot in this. It can be built in about 90 minutes. So I think if we set up a live stream for a Sunday and have the model in a box and then go, right, there it is, start the clock, I think we can get it up to a level ready for priming in about 90 minutes. It is a ridiculously simple kit to build. So I don't know. Let's see what you think of that idea. But I think that would be good fun to do. Simon Lewis says, will that include the tent? If you want to include the tent, include the tent. Can do if you've got time. But yeah, we're going to do that. We are going to do the Italeri Kugelwagen Challenge, which you can join in or just watch along or whatever. But we're going to show you how that is just a remarkably easy kit to throw together. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to the prospect of doing that. Actually, yeah, I like an idea, especially when it's an idea that's not related to any of the projects that are currently stalled. So anyway, right. On that note, he says, try not to sound like Michael Caine, but he is starting to sound like Michael Caine. We're going to wrap it up for tonight. This has been another bitty show, but we've come up with some ideas. We will be back on possibly Friday. Who knows? Possibly Friday or a Saturday. Definitely will be back Sunday. And we might do one of these building and might do one of these builds live on the doodah. So yeah, we'll wait and see. Anyway, that's it for now. Thank goodness. We'll be back on. We're scheduled to be back on Sunday, but we might shoehorn in an extra show, perhaps Friday. Who knows? So what I don't want to do is start clashing with other people's live shows. So we'll trying to be gentlemanly about this. So yeah, we'll have a look at that. Anyway, on that note, it just remains for me to say thank you for watching. We're scheduled to be back on Sunday. We might be back on Friday. So and we might build an Italeri 35th scale Kugelwagen in real time, live on the internets. So if you want to join in, then grab that kit and join in. Or perhaps, right, okay, hang about. Perhaps we will we'll give it a kind of like a space of a month or so, a few weeks or so. So if you want to join in, you can get hold of a copy of that kit. So if you want to do that, let us know what you think. If you think I should just go off and solo and whatnot, I'll do it on Friday. If you want to wait and get a copy of that kit and then join in, fair enough. I will be guided by your thoughts and wishes. Apart from when you say get off the air, and then I'll just carry on doing it the way I want to do it. Anyway, on that note, we will bid you adieu. Yeah, I'm suddenly enthused. I feel like I want to sit in the workshop and get on with some modelling, especially as it's starting to get a little bit warmer as well. So, anyway, on that note, I just want to say thank you to everybody who's tuned in tonight. Goodness me, got better things to do with your time, but hey ho, it's your time. We will possibly be back on Friday. Until then, stay safe, stay out of trouble, and we will see you very, very soon. So until then, bye for now.